Man, that was a good show today. But guess what? We're still here. For those brave enough to hang around, man, are you in for a treat? Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show. This is where we exhale and loosen up a little bit and maybe handle some of the issues that were either too strong for the radio or maybe that we just didn't have time for. So let's get Tom back in here along with show producer Jim Kinsey, Michael, and Michelle. Now, the Gun Talk After Show. Take it away, guys.
All right, this is the after show, the craziness that we all get together and do whatever we're going to do. The gang is all here. We have Michelle, we have Michael, and we have James. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hello. Yeah, okay. I hate to do the after show and wake you up because I know you get some nice quiet snooze time during the regular show.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, not me. I'm busy.
Yeah. Okay.
You're busy. That's sure. You're over there.
Well, it's still football season, so we're paying attention to something.
That's true. Once hockey comes along, then you're gone.
Yeah, right.
So what I'm hearing is I'm the hardest working individual of the group besides you, Tom.
That's right. You and James Brown. Hardest working woman in showbiz.
Kiss myself.
Oh, Lordy. So the question is, Michelle, how many callers do we actually get that you just answered their questions and they never actually make it onto the air?
I don't do that.
Sure.
Yeah, right.
You go, actually, that's not what you have. Here's what you have.
Just call my cell phone. I'll give you the real answers.
Hi. Well, welcome to Michelle's Gun Talk.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. Thank you, Tom.
If you want to really go off the rails here, all right. Do you ever have house plants where if you put water in them and the water goes out of the pot, it goes all over the floor?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You know how to solve that?
Don't water them?
Ice.
Oh, my gosh.
Just take a bunch of ice and pour it around on the dirt around the plant and then go away. It's a, what do they call that? A time capsule?
Time release.
Time release, that's right. It's time release water.
Wow, you got to patent that.
I do. I'm going to patent ice. That's what it is. Going for it right here. So now that we've made our gazillions, we're going to make dozens of dollars on this thing, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, how about we get to some callers before we blow up Michael's truck?
Michael, what's the deal with this truck anyway?
You don't like it?
I think it's a fabulous truck. How many miles you got on that beast?
65,000 original.
It's got no miles.
65,000 original. Now, the non-original, he's got like 400,000 on top of that.
Probably on one of the wheels I got that used. But no, seriously, it's only got 65,000 original miles on it. Just turned, I think, 2 days ago.
It's sat forever.
Yeah,
so in other words, it's young, but it's ugly.
It is extremely ugly, yes. Yes.
Okay.
My body work, Bondo, leaves a little to be.
Body by Bondo.
That's exactly right. You can pretty much kind of read a story with your fingers when you touch it.
Okay. Okay. All righty. Well, let's get some calls in here. Let's see. Let me find where we are. Scott, thanks for joining us because you now become part of the insanity around here. How are you?
Oh, good. How are you, Tom? Welcome back to Toledo. Now that baseball season's over, they're not laying ball games over your show.
Amen.
That's true. That's true. Well, I'm glad to be back. Of course, now you know that the rest of this crew is all sitting there in Toledo.
Oh, really?
Indeed.
Okay. So, yeah.
Come shoot with us.
That's right. Come shoot. Here,
You want to see Michael's truck?
I want to blow up Michael's truck.
Doesn't everyone?
Get in line, pal.
That's right. Oh boy, this is a party coming on. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, I love it. I was wanting to ask you for advice on a coating to put on my carry piece. I just got my permit a few months ago, and for a while I was carrying a Chinese Norinco replica of the Soviet TT-33.
Of course you were.
Doesn't everybody?
And it's carbon steel, and I carry it inside the waistband. Sometimes it touches my skin. Well, I'm a landscaper too, and the sometimes skin is sweaty and sweat is salty. So, I'm not looking to blue it or parkerize it, but I wanted to know if I can put some kind of coating on it.
Cerakoted.
I would go with I particularly like Rust-Oleum or Krylon. In your favorite
I got all
color.
kinds of that.
Yeah, I bet you do.
The non-allergenic kind, though.
The non-allergenic kind. Yeah, that's right. It's a really good point, and we laugh about it. But if you carry and you're active, you're going to sweat. It's going to get on the guns, and I don't care what you have. They're steel in your gun, and it will rust because, man, sweat is salty. And,
Right.
Cerakote is okay, but look, Cerakote is just paint, really. That's all Cerakote is. You can bake it on or you can not bake it on. It comes in both forms. I'm assuming you don't want to spend much money, right?
No, it's a $200 gun. I mean, it functions perfectly, and it eats up any nasty thing you want to put through it, but it shoots fine.
Well, I got a place you can send it to get $600 worth of coating put on it. But that may not be where you want to go. I tell you what I would do. Probably just make a commitment to take it out once a week, unload it, and get a good rust preventative to put on it. And for that, I like Birchwood Casey has something called Sheath. There are a lot of different metal protectants. Corrosion X is good. Just really almost anything. Certainly not WD-40, which is not, should never touch a firearm. But probably even in your work, you have maybe run into LPS as a lubricant, a rust preventative. But I would, and the thing to do is to clean the gun well and then spray this stuff on a rag, not on your gun. Because when you spray it on the gun, it gums up the works. And then just wipe it down, take the slide off, to clean it well, wipe it down. And that'll be good for another week. That's about all it's going to be good for, frankly.
Right. I wipe it down almost every time I come home with it. I don't carry that anymore. I carry a stainless Springfield mil-spec now. But another guy called. He was looking to hide his gun. Can I make a recommendation on a cool holster?
Sure.
It's a $20. I carry my Springfield in my left front pocket with a inside the waistband Uncle Mike size 5. Okay. And it's fine until you try to bend over or something and it jabs you in the gut.
Right.
But it hides the gun just fine. It's flat against your body there.
So wait a minute, you're putting a 1911 in your front pants pocket?
Yeah, in kind of a cross draw position. I put the inside the waistband holster in my left front pocket.
Huh.
And the butt of the gun faces. It doesn't really face forward. It faces kind of across my stomach. But as long as I'm standing up, we use stand-up mowers and stuff, so it's fine.
Okay.
But it hides it really good. Heard you mention McDonald's. I don't know how many times I've been at McDonald's with it, but
that's right. Goes with everything. Well, by the way, let me mention, stainless steel, will rust also. I'm sure you know that. So you still have to wipe your stainless steel gun down because it will rust also.
Yeah, my guns live a charmed life, so that gun gets wiped down too.
Yeah, because it's slower to rust, but they absolutely will rust too. So it's a problem. When I'm carrying the Springfield Armory, the XDM that I carry a lot, the slide tends to pick up a little rust because I don't clean it as often as I should. And it's Louisiana, man. It's hot and sweaty, and it's just what it is. So it's an ongoing problem for those of us who carry all the time. It's just part of the deal. And it sounds to me like you kind of figured it out, but I would say wiping it down often is, if you don't want to go pay for a new coating. You guys have any other thoughts, any suggestions?
Well, I needed some landscaping work done. I'm going to be calling him probably right after the show's done here.
I think you meant on the gun.
Oh, the gun.
I've seen that Cerakote non-bake finish, and it looks good.
Good.
You got to take your time and follow the instructions exactly, but it'll hold up. It should hold up pretty well. I wouldn't do it on a really expensive gun, but
cool. Thanks, you guys.
All right, good deal. By the way, I just got an email, because this applies to what we were just talking about on the broadcast show. I got to mention this. Guy says, I strongly disagree with your advice on using expanding bullets in a 380. Let me see why. He says, expanding bullets in a 380 are a bad way to go, as the velocity is too low to reliably open up. Well, that may have been the case once upon a time, but ammo companies are now making ammo specifically for 380 self-defense, and they're even making them for shooting out of the litty-bitty 380s like the LCP and the Kel-Tecs.
Right.
Yeah, with no
and
barrel.
we're getting good expansion, reliable expansion out of them.
Well, the whole ammo scenario in the past 15, 20 years has radically changed. It used to be 9s were a joke. It was 45 or nothing, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just not the case. They're so close, the ballistic testing. You were talking about that earlier. The testing has shown it's so close. A 380 is a respectable round.
Right.
Hard to make any difference.
I think a lot of the original concern, too, was the whole penetration aspect of 380s. But like you've said, they've improved the ballistics so much in them that it's probably not a concern if you spend good money on defense ammo.
I've shot 380s in ballistic gel alongside 38 and 9mm, and there's not more than an inch difference in the penetration. The other thing, you know what happens is, if you've been around this a long time, we go back to that whole deal I talked about earlier in education. They call it the law of primacy.
Right.
That which you learn first stays with you. We learned way back when people were pretty much comparing all FMJs that 9s suck and 45s better. Well, yeah, if they're not going to open up, then you want the biggest one you got. But when you have reliably expanding bullets, it changes. But a lot of us, me included, tend to hold on to that old information that we learned, Yeah, but I always heard, or I always, I get it. Don't you guys think that's part of what's going on, too?
Yes, having been in the industry for a little while.
A little while. I like that.
It used to be that you needed the bigger gun. They wanted the bigger punch. It didn't matter how many rounds it was the power. And therefore, 45s were the gun of choice. And then as we started coming out with the 9mm and the ammunition started changing, that's where the focus went to, was mostly on the 9s. We started to see some of that change. And then, you started see things coming around like the 40s and the 10 and now the 380s. And I think there's a super advancement with the powders, with the primers, with the bullets, everything in general. The technology has gotten better, and you don't need to have such a big gun. You can choose something smaller and get just as good ballistic downrange.
I would venture to say, too, that social media, the advent of social media in everybody's lives daily, is also kind of, it's a benefit, but it also kind of it throws out a lot of misinformation out there. It propagates those old, well, it does. It propagates the old stereotypes, the old ideas about guns, ballistics, and so forth that, it's sometimes hard for people, especially if they're new, to find out where to get good information aside from calling your show.
Everything on the web isn't true, Michael?
No.
Oh.
No.
Michelle makes a great point. It's not just bullets, and we don't talk about this very often, but we have better powders, better primers than we used to. We can get higher velocities in the same load.
Plus tighter tolerances with all the CNC stuff.
Yeah, everything's just better. We got great competition. People are beating their brains out trying to sell you guns and ammo, and they're trying to put out the best stuff they can. Now, if you insist on buying, military surplus, full metal jacket ammo, you're going to get what you pay for, which is a lot of malfunction drills. Which is good. I actually have a big can of rotten 9mm ammo that we use a lot because about every 15th or 20th round doesn't go bang, so we get lots of practice with that, on our malfunction drills. But if you'll spend the money on good ammo, it's really makes a huge difference.
Well, and anyway. I think the other thing to keep in mind with that lesser expensive ammo is not only would you have the probability of more misfires, it's a lot dirtier ammo than anything else is.
It is. It's crummy junk.
Yeah.
Tell you what, before he gets tired and goes away, I want to get Dave in here on line one. Dave, what do I see? What have you been doing while you are listening to Gun Talk?
Well, I always like to make it a gun afternoon during Gun Talk. So sometimes I load ammo, sometimes I'm cleaning my guns. But today I decided to assemble a AR-15 lower while the show was going on. So
Cool.
It is complete now, and all I just have to do is take it out and maybe call in a month or so with a range report.
Now, how many hours of the show did it take?
Yeah, how long did it take you to put this together?
Well, it's not the first AR-15 lower I put together, but they seem to always take a little bit of fitting some of the parts. This one was Cerakoted, so some of the holes had to be smoothed out a little bit.
Right.
I think from start to finish, I took about 2.5 hours of the show to do this.
Now, where do you get your parts?
Well, this one I got one of those mag tactical lowers, the ones that are supposedly a magnesium alloy. So it's like a billet lower. They had a sale on those a while ago, and I picked up a couple. I wanted something a little bit different, so I got it in that zombie green color.
Okay, good.
Just just for something different.
Sure,
And
why not? Why not?
And I used a CMMG lower parts kit. I don't know if you've ever tried those, but they're priced with all the rest of them, and they've got a much nicer trigger than the other ones that I've tried.
Okay. So, and for those who don't know, you buy a lower receiver, and then you buy a kit that's got every part in it you need, and you simply put it together, and when you're done, you have your AR-15 lower ready to go, and then you just get the upper and drop it on, right?
Yeah, and I had picked up a lower a little while ago. I mean, an upper already assembled a little while ago from Palmetto State Armory. They always have good sales on complete uppers, and I think they're pretty decent quality.
So this, Dave, this isn't one of those 80%ers that you drill out?
No. I started with a strip lower.
Okay.
I ordered that, and that had to go through an FFL when I got here.
Yeah, that was my question, yeah.
Yeah. Now, how much money do you figure you save by doing it that way over buying one of these fairly inexpensive ARs around now?
At today's prices, I probably didn't save anything, but it's not nearly as much fun when you buy them already put together.
And I was hoping you would get there because, when you can go out and buy an AR now for $550 to $600. I mean, it's crazy how low they've gotten. But you don't have the fun of putting together your own gun, and now literally every part that's in there. If something goes wrong, you can take it apart. You're not afraid of going into it and messing with your gun, right?
No, not at all. In fact, that's another fun part of the sport is being able to go in and troubleshoot problems and fix them. And with the mil spec, of everything in an AR-15, you can get parts just about anywhere. You can interchange parts with other guns to try and troubleshoot problems, figure out where the problem lies.
And, of course, now you have no one to blame. It's you, man.
Oh, no.
That's the bad news. You go, who do I blame on this? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. I put this together. This is me.
Just have 2 cell phones to call tech support.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call, Dave. It's pretty cool. You spent your time listening to Gun Talk, putting together your own AR. That's neat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Tell you what, guys, let's take a quick break here, and then we'll come back, and we're going to have more plotting against Michael's truck. We'll be right back.
In November, a few races for U.S. Senate could determine whether more anti-gun laws are in our future and whether your rights will be infringed. Will be infringed. Don't risk your rights. The future of gun rights is in your hands. Be a gun voter. #GunVote. For more information, visit gunvote.org. Gunvote.org.
You are one among many, a growing brotherhood, and yes, sisterhood, of those who choose a concealed carry lifestyle. Those who believe the Second Amendment is as vital to our freedom today as it was more than 2 centuries ago. Those who embrace the natural right to protect themselves, their loved ones, even perfect strangers, should danger arise. You are one among many, and we've got your back. Carry Taurus and carry on. TaurusUSA.com.
All right, we're back. It's the death watch of Michael's truck.
Dun, 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 dun.
Before you know it, Nancy Grace is going to show up. Here we are. And when she comes, she shows up, we're all leaving. It's just, that's going to happen.
I may have to get a ride.
let her have the truck. It's okay. In fact, if it will make her go away, just give her the
truck.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So, how in the world do we even get started on the destruction of Michael's truck?
Because I was off one week because I was tending to my poor dead baby.
That's true. It had let you down.
It did 4 minutes from Jim's house, actually.
4 minutes walking or by truck?
By truck. So maybe 20-minute walk. Well, I drive pretty quick, though, so it might have been...
Well, now, okay, that's a whole other story we're getting into.
It was parked next to a gas dispensing unit, and I didn't really want it catching fire next to a gas dispensing unit, so I had it towed.
Like a gas...
Pump.
Like pump, as we say in this country. Gas pump.
A gas station? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
I don't know if we're talking about natural gas, methane, LNG, or
Taco Bell lunch.
A bunch of cows. I don't know what we're talking about here. Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So what year is this truck?
It is an 89.
Oh, man. And seriously, it's got 65,000 miles on it?
It does, yeah.
It does.
Shoot.
Yeah.
The body's got 400,000 on it, it looks like.
Well, you know, when I got it, it had no brake lines because it sat in such high weeds. The floor's intact, surprisingly. So was the bottom of the bed. That's in great shape. Just the wheel wells were gone, and it had no brakes. And
I had a Mercury Comet that had holes in the floorboards, but that was helpful because the speedometer didn't work, so you could look through the floor and kind of see how fast you're going.
Counting expansion strips on the highway.
We had boards across them. The kids would sit in the back, and so just put your feet on the boards, kids. It'll be okay.
Wow,
Don't worry about those holes in the.
We had a '63 Mercury Comet.
Wow.
Yep.
This thing had a little V8 in it, and it was a screaming machine.
Oh yeah, they didn't weigh anything.
No, I mean, it's just go like crazy. Now, I always had to keep a big thing of water in the back because the radiator would boil over. And
sounds
we had no
familiar.
speedometer and holes in the floor. But, that's okay. We were flat broke and busted, and that's what we could afford. I paid $600 for that thing and was glad to have it.
Well, see, we hear people talking about this bullet will go through an engine block. That's handy if an engine block ever attacks you. You can know that you have something effective for that. But we need to come up with something to destroy Michael's truck with properly. We have to figure out a way, and you may want to recap on a couple of the emails you got, Tom. There are great ways to raise money for him to get a new truck and money to go to charity, and more importantly, we get to blow up his truck.
What was the one that the guy said that what we're going to do is put the truck out there, and then we're going to sell tickets to shoot at Michael's truck, and then they're going to get the local car or truck dealers involved somehow. I mean, it was a very elaborate marketing plan.
He thought of everything. Yeah, I need that guy in charge of my checkbook.
Yeah, I mean, this guy had it figured every which way you could make money off of it, and I think he had like the local schools involved or something, and making. It was just crazy marketing plan. I'm going.
You've done this before.
This is pretty cool, actually. I'd like this. This guy sounds like a fellow who could make money doing anything.
Yeah,
there you go. My big concern is just draining the gas tank first.
You drain it of fluids, and it probably won't have any. We leave it sit.
Just
for a few
have him
hours.
go around the block once. It'll be done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't leak any fluids, but it's funny, Tom. I had to replace the tire a couple of weeks ago, and I drove it with 0 lug nuts on the front tire for 10 miles, hitting every bump I could. The wheels still wouldn't come off. It was that seized on there.
Yeah, we talk about gun safety, right?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
I was waiting for it to pop off.
What could go wrong? Yeah, right. The wheel falls off. Oh, good. That's what I was looking for.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. And we got it off, but not by that.
Oh, my God. I don't even know what to say.
It was an adventure.
I'm going to have to excuse myself from this conversation so I'm not held liable for anybody being hurt.
The only truck I know that leaves a blood trail everywhere it goes.
What made you think of doing that? Well, I was listening to this Gun Talk after show, and this Michael guy, that's how he takes all his tires off.
That's right. It's just so much easier. We just take the lug nuts off. We just go drive fast.
Bumpy roads.
Yeah, that'll work. So
it does need to be destroyed, though. We're going to have to do something.
That's okay. We can do that. But we have to have a small service for it. I want to put a nice bow on it.
Okay, we're going to do something, and then we need to get this sponsored. This is going to be how does Michael get a replacement vehicle? So what do you want in replacement for this thing?
I would love to have a 4-wheel drive anything, but that's just whistling Dixie. Anything that runs would be cool.
Well, I've got a car that runs.
Yeah, but it's got butterflies all over it.
No, it does not.
Oh, you know what Michael would look good in? We could get one of those retired mail trucks that drives from the right side.
Yeah.
Those cute little things,
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Or we could get you like a van where you could play music and have ice cream and all, and you could go a little side business.
Yeah, kind of like put your FFL to use and kind of have snow cones,
reloads,
Berettas. Yeah.
Well, it's got to have room because you remember he has that 8-track player and his CB radio and all that stuff has to follow him
Just
to the
has
new
to have
vehicle.
Roof real estate for the antenna for the CB. Everything else is inconsequential. Yeah.
Get that standing wave.
I'm kind of getting this mental picture of this truck at this point.
It's an experience every time you sit in it.
There are some things that are just too ugly to die. This may be one of those.
You got an emailed picture, didn't you, Tom?
I did. I looked at it. It was.
You're so polite.
It was. Boy, that's some truck.
You should have seen it before I painted it.
It does look way better. That's the sad thing.
You could fit your whole head into where the wheel well used to be. Let's just put it that way.
Where do you put your guns in your truck? How do you carry
behind the
guns
seat? If I've got a long gun or something, I'll lock it behind the seat.
And this is not a dual cab or anything.
No.
Not yet.
You couldn't even fit your thigh behind that seat.
So, skinny gun is about all you can do back
Right.
there.
I had a shotgun and an SKS behind it yesterday, and I was very pleased that it fit.
Okay. No gun rack in the back window, huh?
No. And there's not any room for it. I've been trying to figure that out.
Plus,
I
that's
miss
your
gun
advertising.
racks in trucks. Don't you guys?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but see, around here...
You're not old enough to know.
No,
right?
no. I mean, in the Midwest, if you have a gun rack, it's advertising.
Then as you set off about 50 yards from it, but that might be considered hunting over bait. So,
God.
if you're sitting out there with your rifle and you just had a gun rack, you know what you do now is you just put like air guns in there, just cheap giveaway. And
Yeah.
just bait them in. That,
Nice.
So
And then a little tannerite right next to them. You don't really
There
have
you
to
go.
hit them.
you see weird things. By the way, for anybody who's listening, we did have somebody just sent me an email because we were talking about my dad on the Old American Sportsman show. And those shows are not available, but we found one. He was on a show after that called Sports Afield.
Right.
And so if you do a little searching on YouTube, you can find the Sports Afield show with Gresham and John Edwards. So if you want to see a little bit of what...
Be cool to get a hold of Kurt Gowdy's kid and see if he still has access to that.
See, I think Trevor does. I can run him down. I've got some mutual friends. We'll run him down and see what's going on with
Well, don't run him
Now,
down.
Well, yeah, of course, what's going to happen is we're going to look at them and go, man, those things look old and dated and
That's the beauty of
slow."
it, though.
Well, they were very slow moving. Of course, there was an hour-long show on ABC TV on Sunday nights, prime time, hunting and fishing. Pretty cool.
The good old
pretty neat
days.
deal.
You know it's a slow pace when they start rolling the credits at the 40-minute mark. Kind
It
of
just
tips
means
you
that
off.
they have a lot of people to thank, and
That's-
they're being considerate, Gene.
Very polite.
Very polite.
I like it.
So, all right, here's a question for you. You're carrying and you meet somebody and the conversation about guns comes up. How many people have you had volunteer to you, number one, that they carry, or even number two, actually lift their shirt and show you that they're
Yeah,
carrying?
I've had people start to pull it out. I've had to put my hand on their arm and say, no need.
Does that just strike you as odd or?
Well, I guess
mean,
it depends on
just-
how well you know the person. If you just meet them, I'd be a little bit, irritated if they just.
I've had people who came to do work on my house, and the conversation, oh yeah, I carry. Look at here, I got my gun. Whoa, just leave it right there. If it stays right there, we're all going to be good. If it's in the holster, we feel
that's the
basically a safe
machismo
place.
thing. I've never heard of a woman that carries doing that ever. It's a machismo thing. Hey, I got
it is.
this, and I want you to, and probably some of it's to be cool. I want to be cool. I got a gun,
I want to be
man.
part of the group and all that. I understand, but just for everybody who's kind of listening and going, personally, I will have the conversation and say, yeah, it's that's great. I think it's really good to be able to protect yourself and take responsibility for yourself. But I don't obviously people who know me know that I carry. But for people I just meet, I don't volunteer to them.
Michael, Michelle, Tom carries. You guys.
It's a secret.
Don't bring it up.
Right.
He's really
Don't
touchy.
tell anybody, okay? Yeah.
He's really
The only time I'm not carrying a gun is when I'm carrying two guns.
You said a gun, officer. Singular.
That's right. Are you carrying a gun? No, sir. I'm carrying three.
I've taken to recently, this might sound super paranoid, but when I'm home alone, I'll take a pistol downstairs in the bathroom when I'm taking a shower and leave it right on the countertop when you're most vulnerable,
When I come home, I take my gun off, but sometimes I'll wear it the whole evening. Sometimes I take it off, but when I do, I put it right next to me in the living room. I'm not going to put it in another room. It's not doing me any good in there.
Right.
See, that doesn't sound paranoid to me at all because I do the same thing. I take a shower, there's one right there.
What I've thought of doing is just making sure that there's a loaded gun sitting out everywhere all over the house.
Funny you should mention that. I had a guy tell me last week he bought 11 Model 19 Glocks. I'm like, why would he do that? And it was his buddy telling me the story. He bought 11 of them, and he keeps them everywhere in his house. I could say locked and loaded, but they're not really locked. Yeah, and his point is he never knows, when he's going to get to one. If somebody broke in his house and took him to another part of the house, he'd have access to one that the intruder wouldn't know about. Thinking, wow, that's an awful lot of liability you have there.
The expensive liability.
Well, it's not even a money factor. You got you have people over, something happens, and somebody comes across
he may be
one
a
of
guy
your
that he may have no family and nobody ever comes over. I'm going to try to give the benefit of the doubt here. You know what my problem would be with that? I would forget where some of them are.
Right.
If I got 11 guns stashed around the house, I would sure as heck, when I tried to go gather them up, I would lose track. I would have to have like a list or a map or something. It'd be, I don't know.
Like a fire exit map for guns.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, most guys carry spare mags. This guy would just run out of ammo and just find another gun.
Well, you know, you've got exit signs. You could actually put signs up above each place where you have a gun hidden.
Gun hidden here.
Hidden gun here. I don't know. It may defeat the point. Of course, we kind of circle back, and now you'd say, well, why don't you just put it on you? And that way, no matter where you go,
Right.
it's with you.
To me, it just seemed really, I mean, nice to have that kind of bread to throw around, but it just seemed there's a more efficient way. Have one on you, a couple spare mags, you're fine.
To me, the reliance upon, like you said, Tom, remembering where they are is huge, especially in that panic situation.
I know I put it here somewhere. It's got to be here.
I mean, you'd be.
Maybe it's behind you.
Hey, you'd really be better off to. I understand having them in different areas or out in the garage or whatever if it's locked, but gosh, I got to think on your body is the best place, especially since if they're coming to you, you can avoid that chance of being taken somewhere else right away.
You know, the other thing is, consider this. If you're going to stash a gun in your house, why stash a handgun when you could stash a shotgun?
Right.
Because, I mean, really, if I have my choice, I'm going to take a shotgun or a rifle 100 times over handguns, every time.
Sure.
And so if I'm going to stash some guns, I'm going to stick an AR or a shotgun into some closets or some various places and basically have my, as they say, use the handgun that you're wearing to fight your way to the rifle.
Right, that's the main purpose of a pistol, to get to your rifle.
That's right, to fight your way to the rifle, as they say. Or the rifle you shouldn't have put down in the first place, but look, that's the way it goes. So, I know that some people are going to go, wow, those guys are really paranoid. I would just say we're actually fairly prepared. The other thing, I made a comment, I was going to circle all the way back, started out the show talking about Ebola, how we always are worrying about the wrong things, and of course the media's going crazy about Ebola. Scary stuff, except that there will be thousands of people this year who die from the flu, just regular old flu, and we're going to spend gazillions of dollars chasing Ebola and all this media time, and a lot of angst, and that's driving the stock market down, and once again, we just tend to worry about the wrong things, which if we pick that up and put it into our own personal lives, I would also throw it out for you guys. In addition to guns, what other safety things do you have, like fire extinguishers, etc.? What do you guys do when it comes to just being safe?
Empty out your dryer lint filter. Keep that clean. I've seen a lot of houses go up in flames because of it. Keep a fire extinguisher handy. Yeah, my next door neighbor's house at the last place went caught in flames.
Number 2 cause, actually.
Yep. So that would be the one thing.
Dryer lint.
Yeah.
Yep. It's usually not in the screen itself. It's in the
it's in the
exhaust.
Tube. Yeah, the exhaust tube.
Yeah.
The hose back there.
Yep.
Huh.
And as a matter of fact, this will really floor you. We use dryer lint to start fires in the fireplace.
Yeah, it's perfect for it.
It's great.
Wow.
It's really flammable.
Yep. No, in fact, we take that camping. We'll take a 9-volt battery and then some of that dryer lint and some steel wool. Perfect fire starter.
Well, you guys know how to have fun. I'm telling you. Some of us just take matches. What can I tell you?
Wait a minute. I'm thinking with his truck. Let me see. Some steel wool, some dryer lint.
Okay.
And his 12-volt battery's probably got about 9 volt left in it.
Go to www.dryerlintformichaelstruck.com. Send us your dryer lint. We're going to stuff that puppy full.
Your contributions are much appreciated.
That's right. That's right. You donate your dryer lint for a good cause.
I don't know if your question was pertaining to what you do in the home as far as safety outside of firearms go, where if you're talking like your to-go bag. But I think one of the things that's greatly overlooked is the carbon dioxide. You know, I mean,
CO2
people.
monitor.
Yeah, I don't think people have them installed in their home, and that's a silent killer, as we all know.
And now we're just talking about being safe, generally speaking, because the odds of you actually needing your gun are pretty slim. We prepare for it, but we know the odds are slim. The odds are considerably greater that you could need to have a CO2 detector, a smoke detector, or a fire extinguisher.
Right.
So if you take what you're going to spend, and look, people ought to go buy more guns, I'm all for that, but if you take what you're going to spend on even a cheap gun, you could go buy 3 or 4 CO2 detectors, several brand new smoke detectors, and 3 new good fire extinguishers for your house, and you have just greatly increased your safety factor.
And keep an eye on your local news, because a good majority of police departments they'll have sections of a year where they give away free smoke detectors, CO2
Fire
detectors.
departments.
Yeah. So a lot of times you can get that stuff for free.
I think they say every 10 years, too, is the replacement on a monitor on a,
is that
fire.
right?
Yeah, on a fire
And
alarm.
most modern security systems, if you have one in your house, include CO2 monitoring. So there's that.
And you'll get an insurance break if you have
There
monitoring.
you go.
Yep.
And I think one of the obvious things that we shouldn't overlook is a really good flashlight.
Yes.
I must be afraid of the dark since I have flashlights everywhere.
Yep.
When we have guests come over, and I say, okay, here's your room, and there are chemical light sticks
Yep.
there set up for them. We do a little safety brief on the doors of where they are in case the house catches fire, that kind of a thing. We give them a key to the house. Those safety, or what are they called? The chem lights, chemical light sticks are great to have around. You can stash those everywhere, and they don't run out
And
of
I
batteries.
vouch for that because I've been there, and Tom gave me the rundown, and here he goes, flashlight. I said, great, there's flashlight in the other room, too. He's like, yeah, there are probably 2 or 3 in each room.
And I think the thing to keep in mind with that is a monthly battery check. I think you have to program it on your cell phone or put it on the calendar, whatever you rely on, and check those batteries just to make sure they're in
And
good
even
shape.
if they still have a charge, it's not necessarily a bad idea to replace them, because all it takes is just a little bit of jostling around or even a humidity difference. They can explode. They can corrode into your electronics.
Well, you know what else? With the advent of LED lights a few years ago, you can get several years battery life out of a flashlight that's set up that way. So
Yeah, it's
I'm not
amazing.
saying not to change your batteries, but it's not as crucial with the proper flashlight. And you can get great illumination and no heat.
Speaking of replacing batteries, I just pulled an AR out, had an aim point on it, turned it on, it's dead. So you do actually need to replace your batteries on your optics on these things too when you have
There you
red
go.
dots. So just kind of a heads up there also. And maybe treat it like your smoke detector and just replace the batteries once a year.
Kind of like on your truck, Mike. Once a month, a new battery, whether you need it or
Yeah,
not.
that's right. And every week, put more oil in it.
and water for the
And
radiator.
water. That's right. And dryer lint.
I built the wheel wells out of pool liner and fiberglass and Bondo. So I didn't get any dryer lint in there. Next rust repair, I'll do that.
Okay, good deal. All right, so that's our, we're going to have Sally Struthers. Please, if you care, send us your dryer lint.
And Michael on a corner will work for dryer lint.
There you go. Now, there's a sign that you would actually probably get on the local news with.
Yeah, Hey, I already do the news, so I could report on myself.
You could report on yourself. Would that be like an echo chamber?
I don't know. Yesterday morning, I stood outside of the street with a...
And I interviewed myself.
Some residents were displeased.
That's right. I was startled to hear myself say.
Now, what do you
Oh,
think,
my
Michael? Well,
Alleged.
And actually, there are people now saying, it may be true. Those people shouldn't have guns.
Oh, no.
So
Here's a
we don't
perfect
know about
example.
If you saw me in public, you'd think that for sure. No, I'm kidding.
which is why we're on radio.
I got a face for radio.
And it matches my wardrobe. So there you go. By the way, we just had to sign NDAs on new guns, guys. New guns are coming out.
Oh, now, do you have to sign an NDA about an NDA? Well, then you couldn't have told us about it.
No, I can tell you I have an NDA, but it's best if I not tell you who it's with because that gets a little bit too close to home.
Ooh.
But there are several different companies that have new guns coming out, and we're going to be doing some work with them, and we'll be announcing them on the radio as soon as we can. And I think probably sooner than SHOT Show. for some of
Ooh.
these. So that's pretty cool.
You can't give us our names, but it rhymes with Fluger, Dith and Smessen, and what was the other one? Boris.
Morris?
Morris, yeah.
Yes, I like that. I got an email from somebody who says, why do you guys keep saying Taurus when it's Taurus? And I said, well, I am saying Taurus. I just speak Southern, and it comes out Taurus.
I've always said Taurus.
But he says it's
Taurus,
Taurus, Taurus, the bull. Yes, I understand it's Taurus, but for those of us who have lazy mouths, it comes out Taurus.
Maybe he's just listening wrong.
That's right. He needs to fix his hearing, not our speech.
Yeah, we said it right. All right, let's go blow up your truck, Michael.
All right.
Oh, man, that sounds good. Whatever you do, be sure to get lots of good cell phone video of it, and you might want to pre-dial 911.
There you go. Hey, you know what? Let's hold off a week. We might get a few more emails on this.
That's exactly right. I think we should. Yeah.
This is true.
It should last a week.
So
Plus, if we blow it up
we're
now,
on something with the dryer lint. Michelle, you guys are right there. So
the only thing that scares me with the dryer lint is the fact that Michael always leaves a trail, so he knows how to get back, and I'm afraid the dryer lint's just going to follow right to him.
Well, that's because you take all my candy.
So the dryer lint would be like a trail of gunpowder leading back. It's all on fire.
It's usually just spent 9mm shell casings, but
well, and you're always being followed around by reloaders picking up your brass. So. There you go. Okay, those guys are relentless.
It's my paparazzi.
There you go. All right, guys, we have squandered some good time again, but it's always fun. So we're taking donations and suggestions. Shoot us an email, tom@guntalk.com, if you have ideas on what we can do with Michael's truck. And Michael, I'm going to take those pictures that you sent. We're going to put them on our Facebook page now.
Oh, I'll send you a bunch more. I'll get you some interior shots.
Yeah, send us some. We're going to have...
when the sun's coming up and the light's hitting on the rust. It's very pretty.
Cause celeb. There you go. Who knows? You may get a sponsorship deal out of this somewhere. You
may get somebody to buy your CB radio. No, before you shoot the truck, please tell me that.
Now, Ford's going to come in and say, look, Michael, we would... this is a Ford, right?
It is.
Yep. They're going to say, we would like to take your truck, and we're going to give you a brand new truck for you to use.
There you go.
I'm going to let you start calling car dealers. I think you know more people than I do.
Not going to happen. No. Okay.
There'd be a commission in there for you somehow, Tom, though, I would hope.
Yep.
One would hope. That's right.
Yeah.
I want at least a hubcap. Wait, it probably doesn't have hubcaps, does it?
It's got one.
Okay. All right, guys. We're going to put a lid on this thing. We'll do it again next week.
Be well.
Take care.
All right, bye.
Hey, how'd you like the Gun Talk After Show? Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, we stick around after the regular radio broadcast and just have a little fun. You can get it on your computer, or better yet, have you heard about the new Gun Talk app for your Android or iPhone? That makes it real easy. Download it today in the App Store. You can use your iPod too. Join us again right here next week for the Gun Talk After Show with Tom, Jim, Michelle, and Michael. It's always worth it, and it's never boring, I can tell you that. We'll see you next week. We're hanging out at guntalk.com. Meet us there.